Hi friends, it's Miss Dina, and today we're going to be learning about nonfiction books. Come join us. All right, friends, are you ready to learn about nonfiction books? What do you think nonfiction books are? They're the opposite of fiction. And fiction is a story, a make-believe, read up. So what do you think nonfiction is? Yes, a nonfiction story shares facts and describes actual events that have happened. So if you have a question or you want to learn something, you're going to read a nonfiction book. So you are going to discuss some of the traits of a nonfiction book, which are the table of contents in most nonfiction books. Then you would talk about those things. Also, starting off, you would want a selection of nonfiction books. So you can go to the library, or maybe you have some books at home, and talk about this book gives us information about different types of trees, for example. Let's see what we can find out about trees. And so you would, flip through the book and see what you could find out, not necessarily reading everything on every page, but just kind of getting an idea of what that book feels like. Okay, then the next level, a little bit more advanced, they're familiar with nonfiction books. You can say, what type of insects did the book teach us about? If you're reading about insects, so ask them questions about what you're reading. What did the book say about this? Or what did it teach us? Do you remember what they're going to make out of the tree trunks? So ask a specific question about the book. The next level, invite the child to look through the pages of the book using the pictures as prompts to recall details. Look at this picture of a flower with the different parts labeled. Tell me about what you learned here. So labels are very important when they get to school, kindergarten, starting in kindergarten. Is one of the first things they learn how to do is label simple pictures. So for example, a flower. They would have a picture of a flower and they would label, the stem, the leaves, the petals, different parts of the flower. Okay, it's a very simple thing they start out with, and this skill. So looking at nonfiction books and pointing out these pictures with labels and showing them what they do in a book is important. You can ask the child a few things they found interesting in the book and tell you more about them. So can you tell me more facts about animals that hibernate? Why do they do that? What do they do before they hibernate? So ask them specific questions to get them to be able to recall the information and maybe expand on it a little bit. And then the last level would be ask the child to explain what she learned from the book in detail. This would be your readers, obviously, so kindergarten or so. There was a lot of information about oceans in this book. Can you tell me what you learned? And hopefully they would be able to name 2 or 3 things that they learned specifically, and not just, I learned about oceans, or I learned that water is oceans. They could recall something specific in the book. So, when you do this at home, some things to think about is what information did the child recall from the book. So if you're looking at a specific book, take note. You don't have to write it down or take note of what they remembered specifically in the book, so you can share that with your teacher. Notice any new vocabulary the child used when discussing the book, and what did the child contribute to the discussion about the book. So these are all objectives and things that the children need to learn to do to be successful. So if you do this activity, talk about nonfiction books and go over them, share this with your teacher so they can add it into TSG. Thanks for watching.